What's up, my peeps? Welcome in to my home, which is our locker room. And I got to tell you guys something right now. You know, this is Michael Irvin. You are on my YouTube channel right here in the, what I call the locker room. And I must say this because I'm starting to get something on my timeline. I even respond back when I hear people asking, Michael, are we going to be in the locker room tonight? Back when I hear, yes, I said, we're going to be in the locker room tonight. Even though, and I know why they asked me today, because you see, this time of the year, everybody goes on vacation. All shows, all big shows, they go on vacation because we're in the middle of, well, it's the slow period. Baseball is here, but it's after basketball, prior to football. That whole moment up in there, it's different in sports. But thank God that there's so much that goes on around the world that we can talk about in the locker room, and certainly things that go on around sports, even when basketball and football season are not in full swing. A lot going on right now. Talk about what the Knicks have done. The Knicks hire Mike Brown as head coach. Let's start right there because, listen, I like Mike Brown. Mike Brown is a very good coach. His previous head coaching position, Mike Brown has the Kings, the Cavs, and the Lakers. His career regular season record, 454 to 304. Career playoff record, 50 to 40. 0-1 in the NBA Finals, 07 lost with Cleveland as a head coach, but he's won championships as an assistant coach. So there's been a lot of talk about that head coaching job, that head coaching position for the Knicks. And you know, I told you guys, my guy, Worldwide West, and Rosen up there running it. I was a bit upset with them letting go my coach Tibbs, though. Thibodeau is my guy. When I go to see Worldwide West, I always go in the locker room and I always spend time with Tibbs. And let me tell you why I say that, because he reminds me of, I will say, the most important coach in my life. And both of them, actually. You know, I would say George Smith from St. Thomas Aquinas. That was the guy that came and took me off the streets of Fort Lauderdale and said, son, we believe in you, son. And said, we want to give you a shot to make something of yourself at St. Thomas Aquinas High School. And they said, we want to try to really undergird you. And we're not asking for anything. All we ask is when you do what we know you're going to do, just don't forget us. That man right there was one of the miracles on my journey. And then the next guy was Jimmy Johnson, Coach Jimmy Johnson. Coach George Smith handed me off to Jimmy Johnson. I was actually talking about going other places, and I visited Syracuse, LSU, and George was like, because I just lost my dad, and he had a talk with Jimmy, and he said, out of all the coaches I've talked to, this would be the coach that'll take care of you. So he said, I was saying to Coach, I said, Coach, I'm going to go to LSU. Well, first it was Syracuse. But first it was Indiana, because I was chasing my receivers coach who was really working with me, who I told you guys about, Coach Sullivan, the guy that called me and told me when they were in high school, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson would be coming up and be a bad man. But Tibbs reminded me of George Smith and Jimmy Johnson. They were hard coaches. I mean, tough coaches. You better go all out all the time or you're going to be their worst friend. And Jimmy used to even just say it. I don't need friends. I need wins. If you can't help me win, ain't no way you could be my friend. People laugh when I say that now. But I'm like, why does that make sense for people? I don't need friends. I need wins. And if you can't help me win, don't even try to be my friend. you see, that's direction, and that's directed. So I've always picked that up when Coach says that, and I like that. And I told Tibbs was like that. A lot of people get on him because they think, oh, you're playing players too hard and you're playing too many. You shrink the bench and you don't play enough players. But I like that toughness, especially now. And I don't know, in the Knicks, I think, I'm going to tell you, I think what they did here, because of what has happened in the East with Tatum going down, and that the Knicks they'll have a chance. They'll have a chance this year. And Mike Brown has a pretty good team. He's a good coach, and I want to see what happens when that thing comes together. I'll be talking to my guy. I'll call Fresh West, Worldwide West. He started out as Fresh West when we got him because he wasn't worldwide yet. But after running with, think about these guys, and go look at any old film. You'll see it. Speaking of Jimmy Johnson, Worldwide West, Fresh West, was the only dude I've ever seen hang around a football team that Jimmy allowed to hang around our football team. Fresh traveled with us, Worldwide West, vice president for the Knicks. He traveled with us. He stayed with us in the hotel. We played cards all night. He was the only one allowed to be around us. I don't know what he had on Jimmy, but Jimmy loved the dude, and so do I. I used to always go to him. He'll tell you these stories, right, on the sideline, because he was my boy. We be gambling cards all night, and now I found out he would let me win because he had to hook up with Nike. And think about this. I'm a kid coming from Fort Lauderdale, right? And I meet this dude, and coach loves him, and we're in there playing cards, and we only get $25 a weekend. We're playing 50 cents a game, $1 a game, 25 cents a game, whatever. And then after you win a few dollars, Wes said, I got a pair of Nikes. What? Fresh Nikes? I put my whole $25 trying to win these fresh Nikes, you know what I mean? Because you could, Nikes were everything, especially when I was coming through. So yeah, we would play all night. Then I would go to them on the sideline because I know when I felt bad, I wanted a fresh pair of Nikes, man. I didn't find out till later he was getting the Nikes. They wanted us to be wearing Nikes. Ultimately, Miami went to Nike. So he was getting the Nikes. But I would go to him on the sideline after I beat him at night. Fresh. Let me lift you up. I know you lost them Nikes, but I'm going to lift you up right here. I said, right now, I'm scoring this series. Stand right here. After I score that touchdown, I'm going to come right back here and bring the camera to you. I promise you. Go look at any of the old footage. After I score and I run back to the sideline and that camera comes over right there on my shoulder, you're going to see that old, that gap he got in his teeth. You'll see him everywhere. Everywhere. All my years at Miami, you're going to see my boy Fresh right there, or Worldwide right there. So if they believe in Mike Brown, so do I. And I'm going to tell you right now, because Worldwide only been around that. He's only been around champions. That's how he became Worldwide. He was first Fresh. He became Worldwide after he was with us in Miami, right? And then when I left Miami in 87, 88, he came to us in Dallas. He was with us in Dallas. But the first 3 years, we were, the first couple of years, we wasn't ready. But he was also then, he done hooked in with the Chicago Bulls. So think about it. He went at all the championships with Miami, then all the championships with Dallas, and then all the championships with the Chicago Bulls. That was a hell of a run. That was a hell of a run for Worldwide West. And then now he's with the Knicks, and he hires Mike Brown today as head coach. So as a friend to my friend, and he knows how much I love Tibbs. I mean, him every time him and Tibbs together, they would call me. So, and FaceTime me, and we all be joking and everything. So I believe in Mike Brown because I believe in that dude that I'm telling y'all about, Worldwide West. Trust me when I tell you this. He knows what a great coach he is. He's been around Jimmy. his whole life. So he knows what a great coach is. And the Knicks, guys, I'm telling y'all, this East will be open. You'll have a chance. Cleveland, you know, because just because Jason Tatum went down, and you guys are seeing all everything that's going on right now. Everybody signing and getting players. I still believe the Knicks will be in the driver's seat when the season starts. Speaking of season starting, I started this thing telling you guys about this, what we call dead period, because it's the in-between time. It's that nebulous thing. You know, basketball just ended and football haven't started. But it won't be much longer that we can say this, because training camps are going to be starting out in the next week. And we got a football game. July 31st, Hall of Fame game. July 31st, not Hall of Fame game. That Thursday, usually, you know, none of the starters play in that game. I mean, none of the starters play in that game. But it still soothes the taste buds because it is NFL football. That's all we're looking for now. I know DeAndre Hayden signed with the Lakers. You got Vaccaro signing a supermax deal with the Magic. That's another thing too. A supermax deal in the NBA. Does it seem like people like don't? I just think like when I think supermax, I look at Luka. I look at Anthony Edwards. You know, the young LeBron James. You know, so all of those guys in this league, it just seems like players that are not really there. You may even have the skill set to be there, but I'm talking about the brand, the name, everything. Championship, get supermax deals. I'm not talking. I don't spit on no man in his money. I'm happy for every man in his money. But I'm just saying, if they had something like this in the NFL, it would go to some guy. You got to have at least a couple championships or something like that. No way the NFL would negotiate supermax deals without giving up something super. Like the NFL wouldn't give you supermax deals without a Super Bowl. They just don't believe in that. So you know what I mean? Everybody else be talking a lot of things. Danny Mac Jr., 88. I went right to you, Danny Mac Jr., because you put that 88 right there in your handle. You know, Dolan will ruin things for the Knicks. He's one of those owners, you know. You guys are funny with that, man, because I just think I heard that a lot about Dolan, and I don't know him. But I do have something strange with the owner that says to a player that has served so well and played so hard for him, you are not allowed in my arena. You know, I know that's what he has that going on with Oakley and all of these things and all the stuff that have gone on between those two. But yeah, I wish that wouldn't be happening. I remember even, you know, when I'm talking about going to games and I was with Stephen A, he was like, you know, Dolan don't like me. I don't know if we should go together, and I don't want to put you in this and all. I said, let's go to the game together. But he's like, no, I don't want the guy to get mad at you for being with me. I appreciate my brother always looking out for me like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just hope whatever that is they have going on with the Knicks and Dolan and Oakley, I just want them to clear that up. I wish they clear that. I know it won't, probably won't. It's been going on for a while, but I wish it would. I really do wish it would. But back to what we got coming up real soon, guys, and that is the Hall of Fame game. That's NFL football. It's about to start. Do you guys feel that? Do you feel that? What do you feel right now? You know what I feel? I feel everybody you're talking to right now, what do they feel like? They got a chance. That's why July hits, we start perking back up. ticking back up the excitement, because we know we'll go to camp next week. We'll start hearing all of the stuff that comes out about camp, who's winning what, who looks good. Man, who's taking that leap right now and going to make a real impact on the team this year? I want to, and I went in that direction purposely, because next up right now on my list is Kavonte Turpin. Kavonte Turpin was arrested. Kavonte Turpin was caught speeding. I think they said he was doing, let me see. Okay, go back here. Dallas Cowboys off kick return to Kavonte Turpin was arrested Saturday by the Allen, Texas Police Department, and is facing 2 misdemeanor charges according to online records. I'm just reading this. Turpin, 28, was booked at Tacoma County Jail on charges of possession of marijuana, less than 2 ounces, and unlawful carrying of a weapon. He was released from his own company. Let's see, reports that Turpin was stopped by police after allegedly driving 97 miles per hour in a 2022 Dodge in a zone with a 70 mile per hour speed limit per incident report. Police said a 9mm pistol was in plain view in the back of the vehicle, and the marijuana was found in the center console. Why every time something comes up like this, it's always the police saying it was seen in plain view? I wish, just stop lying. Hey, nobody ain't gonna leave. Oh, I'm driving 97 miles an hour. I know I've been hitting this joint. I'm gonna just put the gun on the back seat when I get stopped. Stop saying stuff like that. You want to tell me was speeding so fast that the gun came out the backside? That's a possibility of that. But they think this man gonna leave a gun in plain view. It don't make sense. It don't make sense at all. But that ain't what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the little fanfare this thing has got. I can't believe when I was playing, oh my God, they would have been breaking into every kind of new. We could have a presidential debate. If I got arrested speeding with weed and a gun, they would have broken in. Excuse us. We're breaking in on this presidential debate because Michael Irvin got arrested with some marijuana. And this thing was just gone, just like that. That blows my mind, especially with social media. But maybe that's why it's gone, because of social media. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you why I say that. Because the reality is, when the news runs things, they're running it, and they'll run it again and again and again if they get a good ratings. But when the people run things, they're like, that's nothing. Get on out of there. It's my smoking joint. You're smoking a joint. There you go. You see what I mean? So that's wild how it has come, because now the big boys don't dictate as much, since so many people have a say. Now, there's a good to that, so many people having a say, and a bad to that. And I'll get to the bad in a minute. But Kavonte Turpin, I started this telling you because he was one of the guys that I expect to make a big leap. You're right, dog. Oh my God. I didn't say that. Hey, wait. See, I be talking, right? And I'm looking at the comments, right? And then some things just grab you. And I just brought up Stephen A. And this the part I'm glad I'm not with him now, working on with him now, on the show with him now, because that's exactly what he would be saying. What was AKM said? He would be saying, Turpin, stay off the weed. Oh, he's been running that all day long. He's been running that all day long, and stay off the weed. Yeah, what's up? Stop it. But Turpin was the guy that I'm expected to make a big leap this year. And I'm talking about not just return, I'm talking about also as a receiver. As a receiver, I'm expecting him to make that leap, to go from he's been a good receiver. He's made some plays to say, oh, I want people to start saying, you got to prepare for this guy, like not just in the return game, but also on that offense. And I used Kevin Williams, Kevin Williams, as an example, because K-Dub was a great return man. And when I lost Alvin Harper, he had to step out and play some wide receiver, and he really picked up and played great. I stayed on him. He took a hell of a jump that year, a hell of a leap, and we got a chance to win a championship with him. So I need Kavonte Turpin to take that kind of leap. And I need this stuff. I need you to get this stuff out the way and go and take that kind of leap and get ready for this season. Kavonte Turpin is going to be a big role in this season, a huge role in this season. I'm telling you right now, he's going to play a big role because now K-Dub stepped up when Alvin Harper left. Kavonte Turpin, I'm expecting to step up when Alvin Harper is coming. Alvin Harper, I'm calling George Pickens now. Because think about it, they were similar players. George Pickens is an upfield guy that makes some great catches, and that's exactly what Alvin Harper did. He's an upfield guy that will make some great catches. And now, when I start setting and stacking, I can stack both guys on one side and run Turpin on the other and get something done. That's going to be crucial for the Dallas Cowboys this year, real crucial. But let me tell you why when I talked about how great the social media thing is. One side, everybody can get a voice out, since CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN are not controlling everything that everybody hears. Everybody hears everything now from everybody because everybody has a phone, keys, and writing because they got a thought. And they put it in the ether or put it in the web. And it's all out there. It's all out there. That's great that you get an opinion. But what's not so great is a lot of bull will be coming up. A lot of bull will be coming up. Now, I'm going to get to just talk to you guys in a minute. But I just want to say this. I saw something today, right? Because I ride around and I see things that's, oh my God, I want to talk about this. All right. And I'll send it to Gene and Nathan. I say, hey, man, find out about this. This is crazy. And they'll solidify for me. I'm like, that's not real. That's fake. Might be that. And then put up that fake story. You see this right here? Now, because when I see stuff like this, and I send it to them, then because I'm driving, I'm working on in a meeting, and I may see it, and I'll just shoot it, and then you go back and find out, you're like, it's fake stuff, like this fake stuff, because everything, people do so much clickbait stuff here, but this is fake stuff, and I just thought it was interesting, since Donald Trump came on, and I'm not. No politics here. I'm just saying because the man was the first one to start talking. He was the one calling ABC, CBS, NBC, and all the big people fake news. He said they're all fake news, fake news, fake news. And now we really have all this fake news. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's just wide open out here. How can you go and put this man? The fake news was Ime Udoka had messed with one of his players or message him, I text him in. I was like, and I was saying, oh my God, no, he didn't. This is a great, I think Coach Udoka was a great coach. He's a great coach. But we know what happened in Boston. And now he's got a great young team, great team in Houston. And I was like, I hope this is not what he's doing with his players. And I was crushed on it. And I'm glad I got Gene and Nathan to say, simmer down. That was fake, buddy. I'm just saying that was fake. It's hard to determine what's real, what like the old commercials used to be, what's live or what's Memorex. Memorex was that was a cassette tape. And they were like, you can listen to it live in concert or you can listen to it on Memorex, and you can't tell the difference. That's how good the cassettes is. I'm talking about cassettes. This is way back before CDs and everything. That commercial went on. So yeah, that was interesting watching all of this fake news. And I don't know how you guys determine the difference between what's real and what's not, because we get so much of it. Nathan, my boy, was telling me that they have a site that everybody knows they put out fake stuff about the NBA or what. Nathan, tell me what that site was. No, I don't even want to promote it. I don't even tell me that. I don't want to promote it. I'm just saying it's out there. I'm just saying for you guys, I don't know how you deal with all of that, getting that fake stuff, man. But let me hear from you guys right now, because right now, I know we got baseball going on, but all everybody's thinking about right now is football. The National Football League is about to crank up. Give me your thoughts on where you think this thing will lay out. I was leaving my house today, outside, across the street, my neighbor was Michael Gallup, of course. I figured, I thought I've been here quite a while. I've been living there 20 years. Michael Gallup's been there for 5 years. Michael Finley lives right above me. He's been here about 15 years too. So I was like, well, I got a doc moving in over here. He's a brother. But all the brothers in this neighborhood are named Michael. And I was with Michael Gallup today. And I ain't gonna lie, he was telling me about things and how it's going in Washington over with the Commanders, and he'll be headed back here next week. Him and his little boy, they'll be moving to Washington for the football season. And he was telling me how much he loves it. And I was like, man, And I was like, man, I know, Dan Quinn, I wish we could have kept him with the Mike McCarthy thing at the time. But remember, Mike Gallup retired because of situation around here, and then came back and went to D.C. because Dan Quinn reached out to him. You see what I'm saying? So Dan Quinn he's dude, like I told you guys before, Dan's a great communicator, especially, I don't care what people say, with the African-American players. He took a guy who's made some good money and set and talking right back to the game. Right back to the game. That's a different kind of coach. I don't know why, well, I won't get into that. I do believe the coach we have now, the coach we had, I don't know if he had the talent to talk people back into a game if he retired. After hanging out with Coach Shotty, he had that little charisma thing on him. If his heart is right, like his charisma role, see, he has that ability. And when someone has that ability, that means they can motivate you. That means they're looking inside and pulling great things out of you. That's the difference right there. And that's when you hear people say that. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah. He just told me the sun set. Gene, you could just say that loud. I understand, buddy. Hold on one second, though. Gene, it get dark in here when that sun goes down. Well, I'm all right. Well, I'm a happy man, y'all. I'm just more light here. I took the light off my desk, but I get more light. Gene, it's okay, Gene, to say, Mike, you so black, and it got black in there. Let's please get some light. Just tell the truth, let it go. This is the locker room. We can say things like that in our locker room. You know what I'm saying? We can say things like that, buddy. But yeah, I probably got too dark. But I want to hear from my peeps on your excitement about this season, and what are your thoughts, hopes for this season? Because, baby, we are here. Oh, I'm gonna tell you guys before we get this. Tomorrow they have that big news conference thing for the conference with Dion, Colorado, and all of them. They'll have that at the Star. I'll fly out at 3 o'clock, something like that, because it'll be an overnight flight. But at noon, I'm gonna walk in to that conference at the Star with Dion. You know, all the media, because, you know, I just want to see him. And I'm going to walk in with Dion, and I'm going to be messing with him like, Dion just hired me as his wide receiver coach. Of course, he didn't hire me as wide receiver coach. And I'm just playing with it. I'm just letting you know it will be fake news. It will be fake news. But I will play with, because I'm going to just be with him the little moment. But I will talk with Dion. I will sit and talk with Dion when it's all said and done. He's not going. He'll talk about tomorrow. He'll talk about his team. He'll talk about the direction. He will not talk about anything personally because he hasn't talked to his team yet. He will not. He's not going to violate his team or his commitment or his loyalty to his team. He will not address anything he's been going through. Just for that. And after he talks to his team, I'm gonna stick a mic in his face. And then we're gonna talk about what he's been going through right here. You will get it right here. So just keep praying for my boy. And tonight, when you drop to that knee, thank God that he's going to walk in that meeting tomorrow, that press conference tomorrow, and do his thing. And I know that everybody over there, they'll be asking all kinds of questions and everything and trying to dig and get to him. But trust me, he's not going to violate them boys he has in Colorado. He's not going to violate them. Just trust me. I'm just telling y'all right now. So show up, talk football. Don't talk Dion. He's not going to do that. Now, let me hear from you guys. Let me hear what you have to say and what you want to talk about for a quick minute. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what we got coming up. You know what I'm saying? And having fun. Hit the like button. When I say Big Rock, hit the like button. What does that mean? What does that mean, Big Rock? Hit the like button. You know. Okay, let me see here. Let's go football. I hope shortly and the rest of the coaches bring out the best in our guys. Me too. I hope Shotty and the rest of the coaches bring out the best in our guys. Kim, you're right. As Kimberly Davidson, you are absolutely right. And I told you guys before, right? That's what I said. I messed around and talked about that on Fox because the reality is you put them here. This team, when Jerry went and talked to the team, everybody wanted to keep Shotty. And I see why when I went to meet with them too. Okay, that's great. But now it's time to step up and show up because you were a big part of making this happen. Now let's go make sure it happens on the football field. So I'm right. I'm with you on that. That's going to be the difference right there. What's up, buddy? David Webb just saying, what's up, Irv? I'm just saying, what's up back to you, D. How you doing? DK, what you thinking about Shador chances to start? DK, I think this is going to be very interesting because I believe Shador, and when I see him, I'm glad you bring that up. Because let me tell you, football, as we talked about it and all the things that people said about Shador and all of that stuff, leadership and everything, I've been to Cleveland for the David Njoku's, the softball game, and the only quarterback I saw show up with all of the Cleveland players was Shador. Came out with his guy. I'm telling you guys, if you've heard me say this before, one of the things I always tell quarterbacks, when I retired, I got a chance to go and talk with coaches, quarterbacks. Coaches would bring me in. and asked me to talk to their quarterbacks about leadership. And I would have a meeting with. First thing I would ask, what's your off season like? And they would tell you. They would always tell me, man, it'd be a long season. So, I like getting away during the off season. I put an X when he says that. Because it's nothing wrong with getting away. But you can't get too far away from your boys. And the most important thing is to spend an off season showing up for your boys. Think about it this way. Let's use Dak Prescott. Dak makes $60 million a year. Dak's got to lead guys that's making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 a year. You understand what I'm saying? If the $60 million a year guy goes away in the off season and nobody hears from him, and then it's time to play football, and we get in the fourth quarter, and the $60 million a year guy has to go and try to motivate the guy that makes $500,000, and he goes up to him and says, let's go. Let me show, I need more. You know what he's going to say? It almost made me say the N-word. He's going to, because he's really going to say the N-word in the heat of it all. Because remember now, this ain't no, it's going to be heated. Everybody's hollering. We're trying to win a game. And you come in yelling at this dude that makes $450,000 or $500,000 a year, and you make $60 million, and you have not spent one moment with that kid. You haven't gone or seen him anywhere in the offseason. If he had a little event that he was putting on in his neighborhood, you didn't just come by and say hi. You're setting yourself up for failure. Because when you go talk to that kid in the fourth quarter, he gonna say, get out of my face. Hell, you talking to me about winning the game. You want to make $60 million. You go win the game. You ain't said nothing to me all off season. You get what I'm saying, guys? These are men you're talking about leading. Men. They know, and everybody knows what everybody makes. So you can't sit on high and bark down low and call that leadership. You got to walk with. You got to walk with. And that is leadership. And the only way you're going to walk with is by showing up to things that they care about and not asking for money. This ain't appearance. I'm just showing up. I didn't do money. I'm showing up because I care about you. Now you got the right to say something in the fourth quarter when it ain't going right because he knows you cared about him. Prior to getting into this place, you can say what you need to say when you get to that place, and he won't bring up the money. I'm telling y'all gold here. This is gold, I'm telling you. Gold. I've talked so many. Man, I used to tell quarterbacks this all the time. Dude, these are humans. These are human beings. You can't do that. You gotta spend some time with them. You gotta go. I would bring Troy. I made Troy come play basketball with us. The Hoosters. I said, Troy, you gotta come, man. I don't want to hear it. I need you in the game. I need you in the game. I got you, Mike. I got you. I don't want to hear it. Yeah, I'm there. He was there. Troy could play too now. He could play, you know what I mean? But it was just the rest of the guys seeing we're all in. We're all in. And for me seeing Shador there, I didn't see any other quarterback. I'm telling y'all, that'll give him a heads up. All the media was all around him, even at that event. But he was there for his teammates. Jerry Jeudy. Oh, I love that, man. I'm telling you, that's the difference. And I think in the end, that'll help him win. Because imagine, Flacco is, Flacco. Flacco surely ain't going to do anything like that because he's much older than those guys. Deshaun Watson, I haven't seen him out. I don't know if you see him out. Shador, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel. I believe Shador will beat them anyway. I really do believe he's going to beat them out anyway. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. I do believe, and I'll say this, guys. I'll say this. By week 8, Shador Sanders will be the starter at Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns. Be the starter for Cleveland Browns by week 8. I'm going to start Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett. I have been hearing the Kenny Pickett and everything. But I'm predicting. No, I'm not predicting. Other people predict because they don't know. They're predicting this what they think. I know by week 8, Shador Sanders will be the starter. And what you're going to hear Cleveland saying, well, we want to get a look at some of these young guys. Because a lot of talk has been how many quarterbacks are coming out next year. And okay, so if you're going to go back in and look at the quarterbacks next year, you have to find out what you got this year from those young guys. That's why I'm saying by week 8, yeah, he'll be the starter. Hey, double star. I saw you play in my city in 1993. Yes, I played. What city was that, double star? I saw some. How you gonna put this with Troy? I love weed, says Ken Troy Dunk. LOL. Yes, he can, actually. And Troy actually plays some pretty good basketball. I tell you what, though. Troy can dunk and Troy can play. And I love Troy. But Troy better not try to mess around with Tony Romo. That was a different dude. Right? On the basketball court. I love basketball. I was all everything playing basketball in Fort Lauderdale. When I played Romo, that was a different dude. I thought I was just going to dog the mess out of him. And that flipped. He dogged the mess out of me. I was like, okay, bro. I had to give him some dap right there, man. But yeah, Troy can definitely play. You know what I mean? I have you Dallas Hoopster jersey too. Oh, who has a who has my Dallas Hoopster jersey? You remember them Hoopsters jersey? So after the game, that's what we do. We would go and sign jerseys, hang out with the fans. And it was, man, I wish this team would do stuff like that. I don't think people understand that. And everybody wanted to talk about, yeah. Now, we did other things, too. I mean, we were in the clubs because, we were in the clubs. We would go, we take the whole floor of the hotel, and then we would go into a party and everything. So we had all the fun. But it was a way that we got to be with all the fans. Remember, we went to Super Bowl there, we go around, and we played police and the fire department. It was all charity, but it was great keeping us together and keeping guys active and kept them here. What I didn't want, and the reason we wanted to do it, because I didn't want everybody after the season, gone. You know, I wanted us to spend some time here working out together. I think that stuff is important. So, yeah, we had fun. Be careful talking about Romo. Got you in trouble before. Right. You remember that, dog, at ESPN. See, hey, Darryl Harris remembers that. He remembers what happened, because let me tell you, D, y'all remember that. I was saying the same thing that I was just talking about. I was saying I went in thinking I was going to handle Romo in basketball. I was going to dog him. And next thing I know, this joker was killing me. And I was tired. I was like, ooh. And I was messing around on ESPN. And as I was messing around on ESPN, yeah, I said, listen, I played with Romo, but all I wanted to tell y'all is Romo, I was meaning, and I meant it this way, that Romo played like a brother. I thought I had me a little white guy and I was about to kill. But Romo played like a brother. He would three-point me, bam, taking that thought behind his back, killing me. And I said, man, I don't know what y'all got. And I said, man, Romo got some brother, Oh, ESPN went crazy. Michael suggested, I don't know, ESPN didn't write that. Somebody else. Michael suggested that Romo people went out in whatever, in barn and messed with the slave. It got crazy. It got crazy. I got it. And Romo had to make a statement that said, stop. Michael was joking. We were joking about the same thing in the gym. Why are we trying to make this a big deal? So yeah, buddy, I did get in some trouble about that. that kind of stuff now, that's what I was talking about though. That kind of stuff, double star right now, nobody will say anything about. I mean, it's nothing. That's why I started with the Kavonte Turpin and smoking and everything. Nobody's saying anything about it. Those kind of comments, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's who started it. Double star, right? You right on point with it. I know the story where you took over the hoopster from hitting machines. That's Eugene Lockhart. That was my dude. Because Eugene Lockhart is who brought me in to the hoopsters when I was just a rookie. And yeah, and in the end, when he was no longer playing, I picked it up. I took it over. So that was fun. I want this team to do things like that. So it's not that you spend time together all season and then right after the season everybody's gone. And the next time we come back together is when they're doing a mandatory camp. You don't build championship teams like that. You know what I mean? I mean, build you have to build a union between the players all the time, not just sometimes. And now hope from July to February you can get close, and all those other months don't matter. That's insanely important. Alex Ventura from Sacramento. God bless you, brother. Hey, I appreciate that, Roosevelt. God bless you, Roosevelt Espinoza. My man Steven Espinoza. That's who ran Showtime and Showtime Sports, man. That was my boy Espinoza. I wonder, Roosevelt, are you any kin? Do you know Steven Espinoza? 'Cause that's my boy. That's my boy, man. You know what I mean? No more seniority haircuts, huh? Let me break that down too, guys, because I will be talking about a lot of that here. Because you'll hear pieces coming out. And I messed around, talked about it the other day, and I am worried because things coming out. I got people calling me worried about the documentary. I feel for people like Angela Beck and all of them because this documentary coming out. I'm headed to London tomorrow to promote the documentary and do shows out there for Netflix. And seen somebody say, yeah, Michael walked up, took seniority, and cut Eric MacGyver in the neck. No, that's not how that happened. Now we were calling seniority in the in the barber because we would bring the barber in, and just like anything else, you do seniority, and we did it there. As a matter of fact, I was one bringing the barber in. And when the seniors come or the guy older comes, you get the chance to get a barbershop, get a haircut, and the other young guy has to wait. What happened with Everett, and I don't want to blow the story, but they may not tell it the right way, even though they talk to me. What happened with Everett is Everett had just came over, and me, Big E, Big Cat, Everett MacGyver wanted to fit in. Wanted to fit in with the line. With for the linemen, and we had a break after practice. We went and started having some drinks and messing around, and came back to get a haircut. And Everett was in the chair. We walked in and said seniority. It was just me saying seniority. We all walked in and said seniority. Because after me, it would have been Big E. We all would have gone in according to our years in the league. That's how we did it. But Big E said, Big E. He started messing with Everett MacGyver. Big Everett, come on now. You gonna let the little wide receiver do that to you, and Big E was joking. Big E was joking, and we were all having fun, just messing around. But Everett took that a little seriously, and he came after me, and we really locked up. We were in a fight, a real fight. I had a 300-pound dude on me. Plus, do 350 pounds. So yeah, and so that thing did get out of hand. I got in fight or flight mode, or in my own head, survival mode, and that thing got out of hand. I can tell you this, man. I remember afterwards, I was sitting in my room. I had blood everywhere, blood all over me, and they rushed Everett to the hospital, and I was devastated. I was flat out devastated. I was like, how did we get here? How did this happen? Oh my God, what is going on here? And it was serious. It was serious because I called, I talked to the doctor, called the hospital. He said, Michael, we were this close to cutting an artery that would have taken his life. And I would have spent the rest of my life in the jail because I was already on probation. And the judge, Manny Alvarez, looked at me and he said to me, if I see you again, I'm going to give you 25 years. No doubt. And I was like, you're not going to see me again. And I don't know how the hell I let my mind get to a place where I had to feel like I was in survival mode, and do that. You know, I remember talking with Everett afterwards, and that conversation was a hard conversation. I was apologizing, man. I said, man, I don't know how we got here, man. This was football. We were doing football stuff, team stuff, and everything. And Everett and I, we were together. We were out hanging out because I was always with the linemen, you know, and we were trying to. You joining the team, so we were boys, and it just got out of hand. It got out of hand. You know, that's one of the things that made me go and study my reactions. You know, and honestly, and that's why I started studying. Okay, and I learned, and this is you guys can figure this out. I learned that all when you have trauma as you're being born. Like, did you guys know? Let me just say it this way. Did you know, like, if a mother is going through stress and hard times in the third trimester of her pregnancy, when I'm the 15th of 17 kids, so, you know, my mom was truly going through hard times, it released cortisol to the baby's brain until the baby so the baby can prepare for the environment it's about to be born in. This is what I had to learn about me. And in that cortisol being released to the baby's brain, and the baby it goes through stages. Mammalian, and your cortex is your reasoning box. Your cortex is your reasoning box. You'll have a bigger mammalian and a smaller cortex. That means I'm less apt to reason, quicker to fight. I am not good at reasoning down things, but fighting things. And I had to figure this out, you know, because on the football field, it serves me well. But off the football field, I'll end up in hell. On the football field, when you attack me and I go right into the fight, like it's a life or death fight, that serves me well. But when I'm driving down the street and somebody blows the horn, what the you doing? It's like, Michael, this is not place. This is not time. That's not the situation. They'll tell you when you study this that knowing this is 75% of beating the situation. So even now, when I'm in situations and people try to come at me a certain way, and I feel, oh God, I calm myself. Calm down, Michael. That's just your reptilian brain. That's my reptilian. It goes mammalian, reptilian, in cortex. I said, calm down, your reptilian brain. That's that primitive brain, that primitive state. You know, I said, calm down. I know to calm myself down so I never get to this again, be in that situation and feel like that. But it serves you well on the football field. And that's why it goes so long unchecked until you get in a situation like that when you say, what the hell did I just do? Why? did I just do that? I can't even tell y'all how much I love Eric MacGyver. And the conversation we had when he was in the hospital, as soon as he got out of the hospital. I can't, what he did and what he said to me and what we talked about. I just can't tell you how much I love him. And, so I wanted to share all of that, man. And you guys are here. I'll be out promoting the documentary and talking truth. I kind of told you guys about even my girl, Angela Beck, who is, because, they don't want this stuff coming back up. And I can certainly understand that. And she's out there. They got a great life. They're doing their life, moving on. She has kids, and I understand that. And it's if I don't speak, somebody else is going to speak, and then maybe people who get it all, they're going to say it from their perspective. So I'm vexed with it. And guys, I don't mind sharing it. It's the locker room. It's what I call it. It's the locker room. So I promise you, I'm going to give you the real here in the locker room. I will not hit you in a soft manner. I'm going to talk it like it is because this is my safe space. You know what I'm saying? This is my safe space. I know I started this thing saying ain't much going on in sports. But look at that. We just ran off and talked the whole hour about something. It's always something going on in sports. You know what I mean? It's always something going on in sports. I am, guys, also, I want you to, when this documentary comes out and all that stuff, I'm open up and talking about things. When you were younger, you talk about it from a place of braggadocious space. It's brag. Well, was bad, but as you get older, it's more reflective. It's more reflection. Like, okay, why did this go down? What happened here? And hopefully, what you're looking at is saying, okay, I'm going to take this and try to make sure it's not me and make sure I can do something. What's that? Peter Green, you taught me something. I'm going to look more into this. I think it could help me out a lot. 100. I'm telling you, Pete, that I gave you is real, bro. I'm telling you, it's just your reptilian brain. When a lot of people out here, with our ladies, with your family, and you get in these situations, and you get, and then you go to the room and come and say, what the hell was that? I'm telling you, study it, go figure it out, go learn it, so you can help you. It's 75% right now, just knowledge of what I gave you. You're 75% on the way of beating it. You guys know it. Okay, maybe it's not on a football field. Maybe you're at your job and somebody says something to you and you go flip the hell out and now you're fired. And you go sit home and say, what the hell did I do that for? Why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? That's your reptilian brain. That's what that is. And you said, ow. And I said I wasn't going to be that. I wasn't going to do that. I'm telling you, go and look this up and study it so you can be a better you. And that's what I want to come out of this documentary. Yeah, we did a lot of crazy things. But from a reflective moment, from a reflective space in place, we'll look at it and then let's pull out what lessons that need to be talked about and what ways we can help us get better. Each and every day, like Jimmy Johnson used to say, each and every day, we're gonna get better. And if you don't get better, obviously you get worse because somebody else got better. Let's make sure each and every day we get better. I look forward to talking to you guys when I return from London promoting this documentary. Appreciate you guys coming in the locker room. And most of all, I appreciate having a space to share. I will not run from anything here. I'll run when they talk to me on TV. I'm going to give them some some different answers. It'll always be the truth, but it'll be more palatable to that situation. Here, I'm just giving you the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. That's the gospel. All I know. All right? Locker room. I love you, man. And I'll see you guys here next week. Same bat channel. May not be the same bat time because I'll be returning from London. All right? We will set it up. And keep hitting me and saying and asking me, Michael, are we in the locker room today? That made my day, bro. That made my day. I appreciate your locker room. Check you out next week.